Hi, Tammye Green here today, and C.C.Lamb's Corner. And I'm just here to teach you the basic fundamentals of the Tunisian straight stitch, or the simple stitch as it's known. And Pattie Lamb and Jennifer Canter had asked me if I could possibly just run through the basic techniques. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do today. And we're working on the Bumble Bee pattern, which what I did was I took my pattern and I basically just taped it together. And then, if I can bring it close to the lens here to show you, I numbered it, because I'm right-handed. I numbered it on the right-hand side. And then I wrote down what colors I'm going to be using. And if you're left-handed, you'll be doing that on the left-hand side, because you're going to be working the exact opposite of what the right-hander will do. Jennifer was also kind enough to enclose this so that we could see what we're getting here. And if I can get it in focus here. It's the stitches that are equal to the embroidery floss. And she's got basically how many stitches for each and how much of a skein we will need for each color. And then if you're not going to use those colors that she has listed, then you can just make your changes right here and take this as a handy dandy little guide when you go shopping. And buy the colors that you want to coordinate for that, and then put your notes right in here as you go along, so that you have it for future reference for the next time. This pattern is 80 by 80, which means you're going to have 80 stitches across, plus 2 extra for each side, 1 for each side for the turning stitches. And then you're also going to have 80 rows, so that you'll know that ahead of time. What I'm going to teach you basically beginning is, let me find my yarn here. This basically, when I first learned Tunisian, I was a little girl, and I learned on one of these. Let me see if I can. This is an Afghan hook. And when I first learned, let me do my little slip stitch here. This is a nice way to learn. If you're just going to do a scarf, just do your chains. Oops. I didn't do that right. Let's try that again. I think I'm knitting. I've been knitting all day, so that's where my brain went. You just basically start out like you would normally with a chain. So I'm just going to do a little splotch here so you can get the idea. Do it in my pink. And so this does work out really nice if you just want to do like a scarf in Tunisian, because that'll work well on one of these Afghan hooks. Just to give you the idea of what you're doing. And what you do is you go to the next stitch and pick up the top part. If you can see that in my camera. And leave the bottom 2 stitches, the bottom part of it. But in our case, because we have to do 82, we're going to be doing it with a Tunisian hook, so we have that nice long cord. Let me bring that over so you can see it. But I'm going to show you basically with this little bit here of what we're actually doing. If I can keep it in the camera. And when you get finished, you should have your exact count on your hook. This is basically doing half of the single crochet as you go across. And then as you come back, you'll be doing the other half of the single crochet, so that you're making 2 passes per row to finish each row. And it sounds like a lot, but it's actually very simple when you get all done. You're just literally loop on, loop off, loop on, loop off. So all the way across you're looping on. And what's nice is you don't lose any stitches because they're all on your hook. When you get to your very last stitch, instead of just picking up the top loop, you're going to pick up 2 loops and leave just your bottom loop. And you're going to pull it through the 2 loops, then you're going to yarn over and pull it through again. And what that does is it gives you a nice chain all the way up your pattern. So you're going to yarn through it again. And so I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it shows you a really nice chain there. Then you're going to yarn over and you're going to start pulling through 2 at a time. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, until you get all the way to the end of your row. Yarn over, pull through 2. Give myself some yarn here. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Right till you get to the end of your row. Please don't mind my messy dining room / office, because this is where everything happens. Then when you get to the end, you're going to chain 1. Like I told you, on both ends, you chain 1. Now here, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but you've got some front post, you've got some back post, and then there's a section in between each one. We are going to pick up each one of the front post. Yarn over, pick it up. Find that front post, yarn over, pick it up. And it's the same all the way across. So you're just basically repeating again. And see how pretty that's looking? Yarn over, pick it up. So then, it's beginning to look just like this. And as you're doing it with your 82 stitches, it will collect onto that cable. And Susan Bates and several other companies make these interchangeable ones where you can do the different size hooks. Now I happen to be using an eye hook right now, but this pattern doesn't call for any particular size hook. So you can use basically any size. Obviously, the larger the size hook you use, the larger your 80 by 80 is going to be. I have, like I said, I'm using a 5.5 or eye hook right now. And I just want to work it a little bit so that you can see how it goes down on the cable. Whereas 80 on that long Afghan hook wouldn't, it'd be really tight to work that. Where you can do a much larger graph with one of these cables. And the nice thing about the cables is you can do more than one cable and do up to 300-400 stitches at a time. So that's what, see how it's going down on my cable there? Let me see if I can work it in there, see? It's going down on there nicely. And it will hold my stitches. So I don't have a problem. Now you're going to work from the right of your pattern across to your left and then work back on the same row. What I do is I take a mechanical pencil, and when I have finished my first row I check it off until I get all the way up to the top, and then when I have finished I actually erase all my marks so that I can file this and put it away, and the next time I want to use it then I can start all over again. That's why I use the mechanical pencil. Your first 9 rows are all the same, and they are all going to be your background color. So that's what I'm doing right now. I chose white as my background color because that's what she happened to have had, and I like that idea. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm still on row number, I'm actually on row number 2. So I have a check on row number 1, and I'm on row number 2 right now. That means that I've completed row number 1. So when I get finished with row number 2, then I can check that off. And just make sure that you're keeping your work straight so that you don't flip it upside down. That's your most important thing. Because you don't want to accidentally be going backwards. So I'm going to finish up here and work my way back and do 9 rows, and then I will meet you at row 10. So until then, enjoy, and if you have any questions, feel free to write in and ask, and I'll try to answer each one of your questions individually if I can. So until then, I'll see you at row 10, and have a great day. One thing I did forget to add was when we get to row 10, one thing you'll need to bear in mind is some people make bobbles for their color changes. They do all the different colors of bobbles. Let me see if I can get another bobble out of here. There we go. Right there. And look how great that looks when you get your 10 rows in there before you do your color change. See how wonderful that looks? I can't show you the pattern to that one because that's a no-no on C.C.Lamb's quarter. But I can show you that part of it anyways. And then another technique, there's 3 different techniques I can show you. Another technique is to go to the dollar store and get yourself some clothespins. They're really reasonable at the dollar store or Dollar Tree, wherever you shop. Let me hide this pattern. And forgive me, I've filmed this a few times, so this is getting to be a little bit of a mess. But to take your clothespins, and each place you're going to have a color change, you simply put in the clothespin and you wrap, because you're not turning your pattern, it's always staying the same way. You're always looking at the I've actually got this backwards, but there, now I've got it going the right way. You can see exactly where I left off with my hook here. And each place I have a color change, I have a bobble along with my, and it's just literally wrapped around my clothespin so that I can just loosen it up a little bit here and follow it up. And some people do that. Some people actually take or thread spools and stick their bobbles on the thread spools, and because they keep it on there right underneath it and work it off of that. A lot of people have different techniques. Some people have a handy husband who can build them something. So you can always go check out hubby's workshop and see what he can build for you. The ideas are unlimited to what you can do. And again, I can't show you the pattern to that to show you where that was going. So it's another one of those rainy day patterns. But I just wanted to add that little note in there for you so that you can. Another technique is just to tie off and leave your strands so that you can weave them in. So I will be showing you all 3 techniques as we go so you can see what it looks like and how to do them, so that you can make an informed choice and do it whichever is more comfortable for you as you go along. So until we hit the row 10, enjoy. It's fun to do while you're watching TV because it doesn't take much thought to do pick up 1 or to do the 2. Yarn over, do 2. Yarn over, do 2. And then don't forget to chain at the end before you start over again, or pick up the 2 on the very end as you finish up your row. So any questions, just give a yell. And this is Tammye Green signing off for C.C.Lamb's Corner. And thank you again, Jennifer and Pattie Lamb, for asking me to do this. It's such an honor, and I'm so glad I'm a member of C.C.Lamb's Corner. And it's such a fun place to be, so let's have fun and not get stressed. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.